You look good. That light behind you cast a little bit of a glare on you, but I can make out your facial features.
No, I meant voice wise.
Voice wise, yeah, you sound good. You're clear.
Okay, good. My mic's doing this weird blinking thing that I'm not used to.
3, 2, 1, 0.
You're listening to the Knives Templars.
Get ready, y'all. We about to Bobby Boucher you. Bam!
I got a piece off of the wagon that Sam Houston used to take JFK to the moon.
Pinto sauce. I like that. Pinto sauce.
Pinto sauce. You're tuned in to the Knives Templars podcast, featuring Odysseer Special Sauce Pinto.
I was a mean kid.
Long-time listener, first-time caller. Eric T.R.E. Rivers.
Holy crap, I built something.
Don the Train Watson.
Never slap a man in the face chewing tobacco.
Joey the Riot Terrier.
Cochon de lait will make you smack your lips and anyone getting too close to your plate.
Luke Beerslinger Berry.
I know there's a certain look that I'm trying to go for.
And Chip Shegman Carlisle. And now broadcasting alive, it's the Knives Templars. Coming to you live from Porkhouse Studios located in Hartselle, Alabama and other U.S. locations. This is the Knives Templars podcast. We are the coolest knife-making podcast on the planet, and we are downloaded around this big blue marble in over 24 countries. We are on air, on demand, and heard worldwide in all of your favorite apps and at knivestemplars.com. Welcome to episode 21 of the Knives Templar podcast. It is almost Christmas time. We are all going to talk about what we're getting for Christmas this year. I've got some Christmas gifts coming, and we've got quite the menu tonight. So, Luke, you weren't with us last time. Do you want to know what we prepared for tonight on the menu?
Please.
Well, here we are. By the way, did I tell you that we are the best podcast out there?
We have spoke of it previously, but it's great to just repeat that. Just to
did you know that we are the number one podcast featuring Eric Rivers, Odysseer Pinto, Luke Berry, Don Watson, and Chip Carlisle?
That sounds like a great tattoo.
We are number one on the planet. On top of that, here's one: we are in the top 15% of podcasts that are subscribed to in our particular category.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Nice.
We're growing, man. We're growing. Nice. Well, so that's why we have the money to put together a fine menu. Well, I'm going to tell you, here's what is on the menu tonight. We have got, I'm loving it, the brew review. And I've got a special one tonight. I'm going to tell you about it shortly. And on top of that, I've got some interesting knife news. You just got to know where to go find knife news. It's out there. It's not all about people chasing each other around with steak knives. There's actually some good stuff out there that I like to hear. And then on top of that knife news tonight, we've got such a big agenda. I've got like reams of paper. Got some listener feedback. Eric, somebody had something really nice to say about you this week.
Really?
Yeah. Eric's speechless. And we're coming back with our
What's
fan.
that?
It's good. It's good. We've got our fan favorite. They're loving this one. Eating nails and crapping barbed wire with Odysseer Pinto.
Oh, cool. That was a good one.
Odysseer, we're going to ask you what's pissing you off tonight. We'll get there. If there's nothing pissing you off now, trust me, we'll find something here in the next 2 hours. We got a maker's mark with our buddy Mark from the great state of Alabama, greatest state in the union. Yeah. He's going to be in here and talk a little bit about the knives that he's making and some events he's been to down there. We've got some opportunities for some questions tonight. We've got questions coming in now. I'm so excited. I get questions submitted. People are starting to make remarks about the podcast, and that opens it all up for the main course. You want to hear what we're putting on the big plate, Luke?
Bring it on.
We're going to talk about knife making, specifically leather work, something we were all growing in. I've seen everybody growing here. I was hoping Joey was going to be with us tonight, but hey, We've all done enough leather work. We can talk about that. And something near and dear to my heart, when I learned acids etch and stone wash, just became my favorite finish. It's not the only one I do now, but we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight, and then some in our upcoming week. So how about we get into my favorite segment, the beer review.
Let's go.
Let's go. Guys, I have got a special one tonight, and you're going to wonder why. Do you guys know what I'm going to be reviewing tonight? Any of you?
I feel like I saw a glimpse of it earlier, but I can't positively say that I did.
I'm going to be reviewing Bigfoot Barley Wine Style Ale from the Sierra Nevada Brewing Company. I found a beer with a Bigfoot on it. I guess none of y'all have Bigfoot as your mark on your I'll have to insert some claps and cheers there or something.
Let's hear it.
I was expecting more of a. So anyway, this is what Sierra says about their beer. They say it's a beast of a beer packed with bittersweet malt and heaps, an aggressive whole cone Pacific Northwest hops first introduced in the winter of 1983. Don, where were you in 1983?
Oh my goodness. Married. Working in a warehouse. 1983.
Well, good for you. 1983, I was wearing a 10X Beaver Fur Stetson. It was hot. Had me a pair of Roper boots on, some Levi jeans, and a Smokey and the Bandit Trans Am. 1978 with T-tops, running around playing a little AC/DC. A little bit of 1983. But they say that Bigfoot is a cult classic brewed in the barley wine style. And I didn't know that until I tasted it. Never didn't know what to expect. It's a strong and robust with a refined intensity of a wine. And I tell you what, if I'm drinking a Bigfoot, I want a fine, refined wine. Bigfoot is a prized beer for collectors for aging in cellars. They say it gets better with age, and under the proper conditions, it can develop enticing new flavors, character as it matures in the bottle. You know, smelly feet just always tastes better over time. Yes. Bigfoot. Each new release, or expedition as I like to call it, is vintage dated. So you should collect your own and savor the evolving flavors of our barley beer this season. Rawr, the Bigfoot. So let me tell you about it. I ordered a pack of these because my inner Sasquatch. You guys know I like Sasquatch? Does it show just a little?
I think so.
Yeah. My inner Sasquatch came out and told me to. When I drank it, I was sitting out the shop. It had a strong pine and citrus aroma with soft apricot and some dried fruit notes. I don't know how I came up with those flavors, but it just so happened we're after Thanksgiving, and I had those fruit, things around the house. I'm like, that's what it tastes like. Anyway, it was had a kind of a caramely taste, which I enjoy. I enjoy caramel, and the malts came out real well, but it was simple and really well balanced. It didn't come off as too citrusy. The Florida man. It was a very citrusy beer, and I did enjoy it. But I have a feeling I've got a new favorite craft beer. But it was well balanced, and it had a little pine, citrus, and black pepper. And I never thought I would like to drink pine, but pine's actually delicious to drink. And I'll be getting a juicer, and I'm going to start juicing the pine trees in the back.
Oh, God.
Now, pine, actually, a little taste of pine. It wasn't too bad. But then again, I was sanding handles at the time, so who knows? It could have just been that coming through my sinuses. Malt comes back into a focus with this beer, though, and the flavor. It's leaving a well-balanced hop type. Incredibly clarity in this beer.
Where can a person get that beer at?
Well, you can go to California, or you can have connections. I had connections. Sierra Nevada.
Okay.
You can get certain beers like Beer of the Month Club or this, that, and the other, where you can order certain things, so it can get a little costly at times, but certain time you can go out and buy. When I'm on a quest to find something y'all ain't never heard of, there I go.
Okay.
So speaking of clarity, guys, I got to tell you all a story. Are y'all ready? Take a drink of this.
I feel like did you skip the the Carlisle 1 out of 5 rating on said beer?
I thought I said 5 hops.
You gave it a 5.
It's 10 hops. It's 10 hops. That's 2 big feet. I give it 5 big feet.
It's right up his alley.
It's 5 big feet.
Oh, yeah.
So let me tell you a little bit of story and why Bigfoot's so important. I was volunteering as a forest ranger for several years out in the national forest. Had my 2-foot long beard, my badge, and my ranger outfit. Walked around helping people find their way out of the forest and drink water, and crying about, well, not necessarily crying. They were upset that they didn't get as far as they had wanted to when we carried them out. And I always would tell them, hey, aren't you excited with how far you got? And then I'd always invite them to go back with me. But at one trip, a fellow ranger and I went out for a hike on the trails in that forest, and we were cleaning trails. And we'd brought some lunches with us that day, and we had planned to eat later. But while we were on the outskirts of some of those public trails, we were probably a half mile or so from a public trail, very close down to the Sipsey River that runs through here. I guess I was sitting 40, 50, 60 feet from the Muddy Creek edge, and it was a kind of a rooted up area, like pigs had been through it. You ever seen a pig rooted area, any guys out in the forest?
Oh, yeah.
They can tear up the land. Anyway, I was sitting on there, and my friend said that he'd realized he'd left a shovel back at the trail, so he left sitting there, and he was going to go back and get it because we were cleaning out fire pits. And so he left, and I sat there on that boulder waiting for him to come back. And nice warm day, and felt good out there. And I expected him to be gone about 30 minutes, and he'd been gone for at least 60. So I was just sitting there relaxing, and I heard something in the woods. It was on my left side, I distinctly remember. And it was loud because my left ear doesn't work as good as my right, and it was loud. Anyway, I stood up to get a better look at what it was, and I observed was a massive hairy man. He was a Bigfoot. He was an animal standing next to a large tree. And I'm telling you, which I think it was a hemlock, it was about 50 feet away, and this thing had to be at least 8 feet tall. Have I lost you guys?
Around here. You have my full attention.
So I stood, I stand about 5'10", and this thing was far taller than me. Had a very wide and bulky looking thing. He was kind of swaying back and forth. His fur was thick and hair was long. From where I was standing, he had to have at least 6 inches of fur, kind of matted, medium kind of brown, some reds in it. And dang, if it didn't look directly at me for a few seconds. And we were sitting there looking at each other. It had dark eyes, it almost had a red glare to him, and it seemed to be shocked, as surprised as I was. It stepped to its right, and I stepped to my left, and it got out from behind that tree and started to run away. I don't think it was running. This thing takes such big steps. It was probably walking, but it looked like it was running. Anyway, I couldn't see it. It was running. And a tree was blocking my view, but I definitely heard it. And it sounded pretty heavy, and footsteps were very clearly near me. So it was a snapping trees and branches as it ran, and I'm sitting there kind of freaking out and wondering what to do. I don't know where my friends is. Lots of noise going on. And it sounded quite powerful. And while I listened to it run away, maybe 10 seconds or so, I turned around and started making my way back to the trailhead. And I got it with my buddy who said I was full of doo-doo. And that's my story. Story's as clear as mud in my mind. And
you said what year was this?
Yeah.
Did I say what year it was?
I'm not sure if you did. What I'm getting at is, were there iPhones during this time? Because you could have just snapped a quick pic.
No, I did have I had a slab of sandstone and some chalk, and I drew a picture of it.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, that was Bigfoot. Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So here's to you, Bigfoot and Bigfoot Ale. Hey, seriously, you want to hear my real Bigfoot story? Have I ever told you that, guys, that?
No, I don't think so.
Who has few desires to hear my Bigfoot story? Siri doesn't want to hear it? Well, maybe we'll save it for the after show, but you guys have to remind me. So anyway, hey, Otis here, what have you been up to? We missed you last time.
Well, you did?
You were not here with us last time.
Of course I was.
Yes,
oh, wait, I'm taking that back. You weren't with us last week because we postponed it. So what you were up to the last week or so?
Just working, life happens. Last week, I had 2 concerts to go. One was for King and Country on Friday night. Really awesome gospel group. They had a big event here in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
It was nice.
I had a relative that was at that concert.
And Maybe they were the ones standing in front of me all the time.
No, he was up behind the stage. He was part of a group that helped arrange that particular event. So,
right. And then on Saturday, I happened to go to my first. Man, I forgot how is it called, man. Go to the. I posted a picture on our group for the National Cathedral. They were having all those and the people singing in a choir and some tenors and they were singing a lot. I couldn't understand a word they were saying.
Yeah.
Because they go la 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 la, la 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 la, and they repeat and sing over each other. My wife enjoyed it. I was like, sounds like a mosquitoes flying around. To be honest, I couldn't understand a word. Other than that, been working on a few knives.
Yeah. Were they singing in Latin? Maybe.
Supposedly in English. I don't know.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know.
Maybe they were singing at a level only a Bigfoot could understand.
Maybe. Maybe putting out
the pitch and tone was just different.
The tone.
Putting out some level of sounds there that only the specialized ear will hear or something.
Yeah.
Other than that, man, just working regular life. Giving bad news to people in the shop, ripping out some coil springs. I did beat a coil spring into a knife. I call it the caveman. I sent you all some pictures there.
It's a beautiful knife. Actually, I thought it was a stone knife when I first saw it. You did a wonderful job.
That was the final idea. When I first started forging that piece of steel, I said, okay, what's my goal here? And then I decided, okay, let me make it flat first and see what I do with it later. Took a few hours there till I got to the final form, but I had no drawing, no design or anything like this. I just started beating the steel and see what I could come up with.
You let the steel talk to you.
Yeah, so I mean, it just came out as it came out. So I said, I'll roll with it. I'll make into a caveman style knife. I had a piece of antlers that I failed to make a handle before. Okay, let me repurpose this one, and it worked out great. I love it.
I would keep it. I would never dispose of that. I will tell you it. I thought it was a napped piece of flint when I first saw it. I thought, wow, what have you gotten into? And then saw it was steel, and that was like made it even more cool.
Yeah,
to see that.
No, man, it was fun. I had fun. Now, one thing that I found out real quick is that a bottle, of propane, will go fast.
How much? How big is your bottle?
The regular barbecue.
15 pound,
whatever keg, propane keg, whatever.
Because I'm gonna start doing some forging. Yeah, I'm gonna start doing some forging.
And it went fast. I'm gonna tell you, man. Fast.
Yeah, I've got a big what is it, 100 pound.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
then I'm working on those the 4 knives that are making the same blades with different handle designs. Right. So I just finished the 3rd one yesterday. I will start the 4th and last one on Sunday. I also posted that on the chat group and on the Rivers Experience.
Yeah.
I'm in love with that little design, 4.5 inch blade.
I like these small knives you're making. They're pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's nice. It's pretty cool. As soon as I have the 4th one finished, I will take a picture of all of them together. They will look really nice in the bunch.
Good. How long are they?
Total, I think 9.5.
Yeah.
It's a 4.5 inch blade, 4 inch handle with 3/8 guard. So just under 10, I think. Total length.
They're beautiful. Nice.
Yeah.
Luke Berry, what have you been up to, Daddy-O?
I've been in and out of the shop. I finished.
You were in ICU the last 2 recordings, weren't you?
The last one for sure. I had strep throat and the flu at the same time.
Yeah.
I was definitely down for the count. I I'm not the person to go to the hospital or go to the doctor or take medicine. And I finally reached that breaking point where, after being sick for a week and feeling like death, I eventually said, "Screw it! I need to do something, man. I feel like garbage." So I got my antibiotics, knocked it out after a couple days of medicine, and finally got back in the shop. Recently I've been working on a piece of twist Damascus.
Yeah.
Initially was going to start out as a mosaic Damascus, but the twist pattern actually turned out really nice. I don't know if I've sent a picture of it to our messenger chat.
Yeah.
I'll send it whenever it's further along. As of right now, it's just I just surface grind it down so that it's completely flat. Yeah. I did my initial bevels previous to heat treat, and I did a little test etch just to kind of see what the pattern looks like. So as of right now, that's all I know. All I've done to it, but still have to taper the tang, have to heat treat it, and then get into the fine detail work after that. But outside of that, I've been doing a lot of 8670. I did a kitchen knife, a hunting knife, and an EDC knife last week that I finished. Right. So I've been making a lot, actually, compared to what I have been doing in the past.
Yeah.
And a little bit of Barry Bladeworks news is tonight at 9 p.m. will be my first release of knives on Fiddleback Friday.
Oh, that's a good deal. Excellent.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
So there will be 3 released tonight at 9 p.m. I know those who are listening to this podcast will say, "What? It's not Friday," but we film on Friday.
If they hear this, it's too late to go get them. So
I hope it's too late. I hope they'll be sold. But next week I'll have 3 more on there as well. They have 6 of my blades. And it's given me a little bit more inspiration, a little more, fire up underneath me to make more so that I can continuously have stock with them. So my dreams and my aspirations are turning into reality, I can say.
Let me ask you this.
Sure.
Does your mama listen to you on the podcast?
I'm not sure. She's a very busy lady, but I'm sure she's listening.
What about the great Johnny Berry? Has he listened to you on the podcast?
We've listened to parts and pieces at work.
Does he say that's my boy?
I sure hope he does.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well, we need to work this out. If you're going to be laying out of here because you've got, pneumonia and death flu, you need to make sure that you've got to fill in. So you have to train him to be your stand-in. Okay.
That's McKenna. I'm training her every day.
Well, you better work on her as well. What do you mean, Mr. Barry doesn't want to step in for you? Or you just like McKenna better than?
No, I think she's just more so in tune with the podcast in general. She listens to every episode, and she's far more interesting. I hate to say it.
Here it is,
McKenna.
McKenna. What you need to do is get your phone, get your little earbuds in your speaker, and call in and be on the show until the phone goes dead.
So she will be listening to this pod, depending on whenever you post the podcast.
It'll go out Monday.
It'll go out Monday. So she's driving back from her little vacation on Tuesday. Yeah. And she said that she will be listening to this as her entertainment on the way home to keep her alive and awake. So just a little shout out. Hello, McKenna. This is for you.
Hey, girl.
And McKenna, here we go. Roll your windows down. Turn the speaker up.
Sorry, Grandma. I'm sorry.
What?
Her grandmother's coming back with her from her vacation. They're coming up for the holidays, so this is a introduction of myself to you, and I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but hello, I'm Luke.
Hello, Grandma and McKenna. We can't wait to have you on the show. We can't wait.
That's right.
So, good deal. Good deal. Don, you got a new hammer?
Yeah, I got me a new hammer, man.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, it really works really well, too.
Well, give us a shout out. Give a shameless plug.
Well, it's KH Daily Knives, and he came up with a little ball peen hammer with a carbide ball in it. And if you got wart blades or anything like that, it'll get the warts out, man. And I tried it a couple times. It works really well. So
yeah,
it was a good buy anyway, I think.
Well, you're not clamping your wart blades no more?
Oh, no. Well, I don't have to do that with this hammer. I mean, it'll bring the wart right out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't believe it, but I watched a guy on YouTube do it, and I went, you know what? I think that'll work, because I remember another guy years ago doing it with a brass hammer, and he was taking it out. And I went, you know what, that'll work. And
I use a quenching plate, and I've never had a warp knife ever.
I mean, it's difficult to warp a 3-inch blade. I mean, come on.
I'm making a tuna cleaver right now, buddy. Talking about no dang 3-inch blades. I've made some big knives, but I've never had anything warp, and I don't know why that is.
No,
now, excuse me. I've had a couple knives, and I corrected them with the 3 X-Acto blade handles in the vise and corrected them. And one of them I did clamp in tempering, and it was fine. But for the most part, I've been very fortunate. So there we go.
Yeah.
What else is going on? You've been making some pretty handles and all that stuff.
Yeah, thank you, man. I had a friend of mine call me this week, and he asked me, he goes, "Could you make me 2 more knives for Christmas?" I went, "Darn, man." I said, "Yeah, I'll get on it, man." So I got 3 knives I got to get done before Christmas, and then 4 now. But no, everything's been pretty good, man. We got our pool done. Got that finished up last week. Got a new liner put in it. So too cold to swim, but it'll be ready for the grandkids next April, May. So
I was going to say, we won't be down there till April or May.
Yeah, it's kind of cool out there now.
Yeah, I don't know. We're from up north. We'll swim in
that. Might be okay.
What's cool right now for you, my friend?
About 70. Well, you talking about in the pool or outside?
Air temperature.
Air temperature today was probably about 70. I don't know, 75 maybe, 74, 75.
Yeah, perfectly swimmable.
Well, I bet you could, man.
Yeah, it's amazing. I went from Kentucky down to Enterprise, Alabama on Thursday, and I went from like 39 degrees or so down to 82 the next day, and that was kind of shock on the system. So it was nice to go down. Now I'm back up in North Alabama, so it's a little bit more normal. Probably not too far from what you're feeling, Otis, here. So I don't know if is Eric. Are you on the information superhighway? You keep crashing, brother.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Well, what have you been doing besides trying to get on the internet tonight?
Man, no, that's been pretty much it. You know how it goes when you get a new computer.
What do you got? What'd you get?
I got a gaming laptop to make my life easier for editing videos, and it's nice. It's a Dell setup. It's one of their new gaming systems, but
is it one of those with the cooling systems in it and all that?
Yeah. Ooh. So it's a laptop, but it's got these crazy fans and everything in it, and it's got
fancy
5 terabytes of memory and all that stuff. So
yeah, that's gamer language you're talking there.
yeah, it is.
You're gonna. I went to my son's house the other day, and there was some animated naked guy running across the screen. He goes, I said, "What is this?" He goes, "We all are naked in this game when we first start, and you have to, you work away to get in clothes." I'm like, "Put some clothes on him." He had a pair of underwear. He goes, "I'll put some underwear on him." I'm like, "Put some underwear on him."
What was he playing? Terminator?
No, Garrick probably knows this game. It's some online game that he's been playing.
Is it DayZ?
No. Everybody's running around and shooting and killing each other, and they're naked when they first start.
PUBG?
I don't know.
Who knows?
Maybe it's Pac-Man. It could be Pac-Man or Galaxy. I don't know.
I highly doubt it's either one of those.
I'm speaking. Don got excited. Now I'm speaking. He's like, Pac-Man Fever. Remember that
there
song?
You go, man.
Pac-Man Fever. Pac-Man Fever. You been making some knives?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm doing one a week right now, and then of course a couple of other things. I've got a commission for a bunch of groomsmen to do a set of knives and sheaths for them, and so I'm kind of starting that project, and then it's just working on the shop and working on these builds. I think this next video I'm going to put out is primarily just focused on I'm building the workbench in the shop and putting the pegboard up and getting that stuff together. But I didn't have much I'm not going to have much time to build knives this weekend because we have this going on tonight, and then tomorrow we got work, and I'm going to a symphony thing with my wife, and then on Sunday it's my daughter's birthday, and then on Monday I'm spending the day with her, and so no knife making.
Man's going to the symphony.
That's the word I was looking for.
He got all cultured. Everybody hold your finger up like this.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for, man. I went to a symphony last Saturday. That's what it was.
There you go. Did you?
Couldn't understand a word they were singing, but yeah.
Did you get some doors on that shop yet?
No, I'm doing the doors. That'll be probably about a week from now, but I've been waiting for the weather to get kind of okay. I've got plastic up on that doorway, and when I start building the doors, I'm not going to put plastic up until I finish the doors. So I've got to be able to dedicate the time to build them. And but right now I'm just, finishing out as much as I can of the inside and trying to get stuff set up to where it needs to be and still make knives. A lot of people who are building a shop kind of just focus on that, not really working on knives. And I decided I was going to do both. Build the shop and work on knives.
You're doing good. Are you going to make some miniature fantasy hackers like you made those scaled hackers for these guys? Maybe some little 4-inch versions of that? Because make an extra one because I would like
it. do some EDC versions of that?
It's still a sweet. Yeah, I don't see any reason to take that one down as the Rivers Experience Workshop homepage photo. It's a cool knife.
Yeah, I liked it. Well, I'll tell you,
it's very cool.
This was the one that I enjoyed probably the most in a while, making it the Yakut. That was cool. And of course that's the actual size of it. It's kind of hard to tell in the pictures, but and
it is a very cool knife. I like that concave and convex.
Yeah, it's a spoon.
Yeah, it's cool.
But
and where can people see this knife?
Oh, good old riversexperience.com or the Rivers Experience on YouTube.
So it's called an Yakut.
Yakut from the Yucatan.
Oh, Yakut from the Yucatan, and it's a convex on one side, it's bowed out on the other, and it's forged knife. It's really cool.
The point behind this, or the reason why this shape exists, is whenever they first started making cutting tools, they were using antler. And the antler was, convexed on one side, and then they just split it down the center, and then they sharpened it, and they just sharpened it on the flat side.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So sharpen that, and that's what gave them the edge. So whenever you see me using the stones to sharpen it, I have it in the vise like this, and I'm sharpening the flat side. So I'm just coming across the flat side, and that's what makes it sharp. You don't sharpen this side.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You sharpen.
That's cool.
That side.
That will make it really sharp right there.
Oh my gosh.
Like it can cut like.
It is absolutely crazy how this is shaped. And then whenever you want to actually use it to cut or slice, it's crazy. This is an amazing knife design, and I don't know how I've never made one. It's complicated.
So what do we hear in the background? What are we playing in the background today, Eric? It's fine. What am I listening to?
A mixture of Camp Lake Bottom on the kids' tablet, and then like Xander listening to some documentary thing, and then my daughter watching I think Baby Shark.
And because your wife has earned a much earned evening away to go to a Christmas event, right?
Yep. Yeah. She's doing that with her friends and coworkers, and just kind of relaxing and hanging out. And I'm doing the daddy stuff. So,
and you know what? If our listeners are going, "What's that in the background?" We don't care, because Miss Rivers is having a happy evening. So you stay live. Don't you blurt it out because or mute yourself out, because you know what? We want people to have the real experience from the Rivers Experience. We'll be right back. We'll be right back. Hey guys, what was your source of inspiration when you first decided to make knives? Many go to the books, and also some go to the web, but many also head to YouTube for videos. Well, we are fortunate enough to have Eric Rivers from the Rivers Experience as a co-host on the Knives Templars. But you know what? He's also a sponsor. And I tell you, 27,000 followers can't be wrong in following his skilled and educational regular videos that teach the fine arts of making beautiful knives. I know because I'm a subscriber to his channel and I learned at my pace and without making those mistakes by walking in the dark regarding knife making. Be sure and check out his channel, The Rivers Experience, on YouTube, or his website at theriversexperience.com. And now back to our show. All right. Well, welcome back. Well, Eric, it sounds like Miss Rivers is happy. You've made some cool knives, and we've all been kind of busy. I will tell you, I went to the world's oldest and documented blacksmith shop this week.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys not see Did you guys not see my photo I sent you?
Yeah, I saw that. It was cool.
Yes, I went to the ARC Experience up in Kentucky, and I took some photos. And when I got, and I was like, "Oh, look at that! There's the blacksmith shop on the ARC," and I thought that was quite cool. So, I didn't know there was a blacksmith shop on the ARC, but it makes all the sense in the world. So it was there, and I'm not going to get too much into that particular trip, but I spent a couple days touring that place, and if that is up your alley and your beliefs, guys, go see the ARC Experience. I give it 5 stars. But anyway, then I had to shoot down to South Alabama. I've been on the road and worked down there for a day, and then I was in meetings all day today on Friday and got home just in time to get on the podcast. So I've been dragging all week. I have a feeling I'm gonna sleep real well tomorrow. I've got one side of my tuna cleaver sanded out and polished up and ready to go. The other side is still black. So I was not going to be able to get to that this weekend. But now I am, because I had planned to go deer hunting on our property with no one else out there. No one's hunted it yet this year. They've seen some huge deer, but we're going to get an inch of rain the next couple of days. So I didn't want to go walking, 2 miles down into the forest and get wet. Otis here says I'm number one.
Rainy deer is awesome deer.
I don't disagree, right, but Otis here, inches of rain. I remember I worked in the forest, so inches of rain, and I just don't want to. I don't mind. I'm a big fisherman, and fishing in the rain is just wonderful. You catch tons of good fish. I know deer are going to eat, but a downpour and thunderstorms, I have a feeling the animals will be tuckered down a little bit anyway on that. And if they're not, I'm not going to be out there soaking wet.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, if it's going to be like a monsoon and stuff, yeah, forget about it. But if it's some light drizzle,
no,
I've killed a lot of deer during light drizzles.
I already had a bag for my. I've got a waterproof sling for my gun, and for like drizzle and stuff when you're walking out to a shooting house, just to keep the water off of it. And I figured with an inch of rain, I'm just not even going to mess with it.
Yeah, well, yeah.
We're gonna go back for 3 days after Christmas though, so hopefully I'll have something good to show you guys then.
What are you using?
As far as killing deer?
Yeah, the caliber.
Oh no, I'm not using the caliber roll. I'm using. I've got 2 sharpened railroad spikes, and I put on a loincloth and I chase them around. The gun is just in case I see a pig.
I got the perfect knife for that. Look at this.
Yeah, I run around going wee woo, wee woo, wee woo, and it calls them in, and then you beat them to death. Yeah. No, actually, I've got a Ruger 308 that I use, and then walking out there for the pigs, I've got a SIG 320 compact, holds 17. So if I want to defend myself against a pig, I got some full metal jackets so I can pierce their little skulls. And
y'all got a lot of pigs there?
There's a ton of pigs, and that's really the reason I got the pistol for out there, because we walked up on pigs before, and if you do that, I'd rather have something that I'm not worried about hitting this particular target. I'm just worried about, I'm more concerned about with hitting them multiple times with full metal jacket 9mm rounds. But there's lots of pigs loaded with turkey, big deer. That particular area of Alabama is known as the Black Belt. And there's deer that come out of there that people in Michigan would think they were Michigan deer or Midwest deer. They're huge, big deer.
Okay.
So hopefully we'll see what we have. But anyway, I'm going to spend the weekend making knives and working on the podcast. You guys want some knife news?
Oh,
please.
Yeah, man.
I got some good stuff. Oh, Eric's holding up his deer hunting rifle.
Oh,
there.
yeah.
What do you have there, Eric?
It's a beautiful.
What do you have there, Eric?
So this is one of the fresh builds that I just got done doing in the shop.
Those airsoft rifles are just almost real looking these days.
Yeah, man.
What's the caliber?
Very 300 blackout.
Oh, okay.
And all A and B, so everything's A and B on it.
Yeah.
And it's all fast, so 45 degree on the safety and everything.
Yeah, nice.
So everything's quick. Nickel boron bolt, trigger work, everything.
It's a beautiful weapon.
Yeah.
I say
you got a handsome son standing there behind you. Does he want to say hello on the podcast?
He's one of the helpers. Hey, say hello.
Come on up here.
This is Tobias.
Hey, Tobias, can you hear us?
He's one of the shop helpers.
Hello, Tobias. How are you this evening?
Hey, buddy.
Do you help your dad ever make knives, or does he just make you clean up the shop? Does he let you play around the shop?
Do you know what to say?
Yeah.
Has your dad ever made you knives?
No.
He won't give you a knife?
Oh, no.
Oh, my goodness.
That's cold.
Well, that's okay, but he has a collection, so when you're old enough, you can get one of your own?
Yeah.
How old are you, Tobias?
6.
My goodness, you're an old fella. What's Santa Claus bringing you for Christmas this year?
I don't know.
Don't know? But he's going to bring you some presents. I hope you've been good.
Okay.
Okay. Well, did you know that your dad, Mr. Eric Rivers, is known by so many people in the world, and he is such a good man that we are so excited to have him on.
Good old.
We were telling him you were a bum, that you wouldn't give him.
We were talking a lot.
Low rent.
Yeah. So I typically start them shooting whenever they're 6 to 7, and but he won't be shooting this. It'll be 22 pellet gun, stuff like that, because I can do the pellet guns and everything's like that in the backyard.
Well, not only that, you don't want him. You need to get some more weight on him. Another 20, 30 pounds, so he doesn't blow back 4 or 5 feet with every shot.
Well, now this one's tuned to have almost 0 kick to it.
Oh wow!
So I built everything for it. It's got the brake that's on it, the position for the gas block. Literally everything is built into it. It's all set up for.
That's a fun caliber to shoot with really light loads with.
Oh yeah,
My father he has one in a bolt gun, and he has a stamp for the suppressor, and it's just like a poof. It's like you hear absolutely nothing. It's a great round.
Yeah, my one that has a 6-inch barrel has a suppressor on it. That one's nice, but it's a SBR, so it's got two stamps.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah.
That's nice. That's nice.
Looking for a brand new or used firearm in or around Hartselle, Alabama? Head on down to Byford's Gun Shop and explore their latest offers and deals. On top of a great selection of high quality and affordable firearms to fit your needs, their staff will have you driving away with a smile. Byford's is a third-generation business that has been serving customers since 1971. Started by Joe and his father Ernest, the business continues to prosper well into the 21st century with Jeff Byford's knowledge and leadership. With brands like Benelli, Clock, Sig Sauer, and many others, you won't go wrong. Also check out their large selection of AR-15s and hunting rifles in many calibers. Byford's carries ammunition, special installation service, knives, accessories, transfers, and customer service that's second to none. Stop in and see them at 510 Main Street West in Hartselle, Alabama, or like them on Facebook at Byford's Gun Shop. Their team can be reached at 256-778-3111. That's Byford's Gun Shop, where they go the extra mile to satisfy your shopping experience. Head on over today. They'll be waiting for you with friendly faces.
Well, here's some knife news, guys. We've been talking about up there in the Northeast. So, we talk about Ohio, Pennsylvania, and now we're talking about the great state of Odacir-Pinto, Maryland. You ready?
Oh, yeah.
On November the 21st, it was right after we last came together, Maryland Attorney General Brian Frost has acknowledged in a brief in United States Court of Appeals Fourth Circuit that knives are arms covered by the Second Amendment. It's not bad yet. You're thinking, what's he mean by that? Unfortunately for him, he didn't know what he was doing. He tried to use a ban on Bowie knives from the 1800s as an argument for Maryland's ban on assault weapons, that it's legal. It's an argument that just doesn't make the cut. A background, here you go, guys. When the U.S. Supreme Court recently issued its Bruin opinion upholding the right to carry firearms and setting strict scrutiny as a test, it sent back to the appeals courts a number of cases that were appeals in a variety of gun ban cases. The courts were instructed to review the various prohibitions constitutionally in light of the justice's decision. One such case was Dominic Bianchi versus Brian Frost of Maryland, opposing the state's assault weapons ban. The Fourth Circuit asked the parties to brief the case in light of Bruin. The basic argument from the Second Amendment supporters in their briefs was that Bianchi could not survive strict scrutiny. There are millions of so-called assault weapons as defined by Maryland's ban in common use by law-abiding citizens for self-defense, and thus they cannot be considered dangerous and unusual weapons that are not in common use. Thus, American's Attorney General argument citing a Bowie knife ban fails to cut it big time, but we appreciate his acknowledgement that knives are arms under the Second Amendment, and sincere thanks to Mr. Copel for his scholarship on this. I will tell you, so basically he was, making the argument for guns that knives are arms and protected under the Second Amendment. So thank you, Mr. Attorney General. Got something from Alabama too.
Bring it on.
All right. I did look up to see what you're allowed to carry in Washington, D.C. We were talking with somebody this week, a relative from Virginia. And I guess you can, with permits and stuff, that you can carry weapons if you're from Washington, D.C. They do have some restrictions on certain things, but it didn't seem like that different from anybody else. Now, I don't know if anybody outside of the state can carry anything through there, but it did look like residents could. Anyway. Alabama constitutional carry bill repealing knife bans signed. We're winning, guys. Governor Kay Ivey, we love Grandma Kay. She signed the knife rights supported HB 272, a bill enacting constitutional carry in the state. Restrictions on the carrying of Bowie knives or a concealed knife in Alabama are repealed. So not only did Alabama become a constitutional carry state, which goes into effect on January, I believe it's the 23rd. Bowie knives was the only knife that we had a restriction on in the state, and they had to be carried in full view. And now that has been repealed, and that you don't have to do that as well. I always thought if you're carrying a weapon and people can see it, and you're carrying it for self-defense, what good is it to carry it where people can see it?
This is true.
There you go. Let's move into a little listener feedback, because I've got some of that for you guys tonight, because I'm itching to get our Maker's Mark going here in a second. But Eric, didn't I tell you we had somebody that had something good to say about you this week? Not that a lot of people don't, but it's in document. I can send this to you in writing. Gary from the great state of North Carolina. That's the Tar Heel state. That's my favorite state. That's where I'm originally from. He said, I found this podcast episode while looking for information about buying knives. It was inspiring to learn about knife making from Eric Rivers. I guess he's our resident expert, huh, Don?
I guess he is. Yes, sir.
He says, I thought that everything needed to be forged from some type of metal. I subscribe to his YouTube channel and will buy some steel and supplies to make my first knife. That's a bingo. You got that's a bingo.
That's a bingo.
I know. That's a bingo.
That's a bingo. I like that.
Is that how you say it? Is that how you say it, Luke? That's a bingo? Hello?
Oh, yes. That is how I say it.
I'm not Starlin. I'm Arlen.
You're not who?
This is Arlen.
Hey, Arlen. You're not from Arlen, Texas, are you?
Nope.
All right.
Oh,
you're a beautiful young lady. What is Santa Claus bringing you, Arlen, for Christmas?
Elsa thing.
Huh?
Elsa things.
Somethings?
Elsa
Something?
things.
Oh, Elsa. Elsa things.
Oh,
Elsa.
okay,
Who is Elsa? Let us know who Elsa is. I know.
Elsa is a freezing girl.
She's a freezing girl. Is she a princess?
That's Elsa too.
She's a beautiful, beautiful Disney princess, is she not? Yes, she is. And I think that Elsa is a wonderful gift to get for Christmas. You are such a beautiful young lady.
I got Elsa and Anna on my shirt.
You do. You do. Can you say, I love the Rivers experience?
Fish always catches me.
Say I.
I don't like fish.
You don't like fish?
Oh, you don't like fish. I don't like
I
the
like
Rivers.
turtles.
Oh, the Rivers experience. Oh, there's fish in the river. I hear you. Say, I love Bigfoot.
I love
Bigfoot.
I love Bigfoot because he's the best.
He is. Bigfoot is the best. She is. Eric, you're off the show. She's our new co-host. Good.
Hey.
Stop it! Don't get to my dad.
Oh, dad's wanting his
Why
microphone
can
back.
I hear him with the headphones?
Guys.
Hi.
Hi.
So everybody's getting visited by my kids right now.
Hello.
So yes, we can certainly. It's our podcast. We can do what we want. Hello.
Why are we on that side?
All right. Well, you come on over to this side. Merry Christmas. All right. So that mute button goes a long way.
We're family friendly, folks.
We are
Family
family.
friendly.
We are.
And Eric's got beautiful family. I tell you what, guys, what you don't realize is that, outside of Luke, who has nothing in the world to do except eat and make knives and buy his mother gifts for Christmas and her birthday.
That's right.
That the rest of us are constantly supporting families and little children and grandchildren, this, that, and the other. So just like you guys out there in podcast land, it's a full-time job and we love it. And part of the Christmas show, hey, it's good to have children. Hey, also, Three Bears Forge wrote to us and he said, thank you guys for what are you doing to grow the knife community? That's pretty big words there. He says, you're funny. You think he was talking about me, Otis, here?
Yeah, man.
Okay,
so.
good. Makes me feel good. He said, because I said that Otis here just craps barbed wire. He says, but I mostly enjoy your discussions that the common guy wanting to learn can grow and understand and keep it up. And that's so cool because that's what we're out here trying to do. We wanted a podcast where you didn't have to be an expert or feel intimidated by an expert. A little bit of everybody can come on here, whether you're a brand new knife maker or you're one of the top people out there, whether you're a Walter Sorrells or anybody else, even a Johnny Berry or a Andy Roy or those guys out there on the West Coast that are making beautiful knives. Everybody's welcome here at the Knives Templar. So thank you for that comment. So Otis here, is there anything pissing you off yet?
No, not at the moment.
Dude, we got eating nails and crapping barbed wire. How are you going to do it if you haven't found anything to upset you this week?
I don't know. Shoot something.
All right. Well, if you come up with something, we'll introduce that segment. So just keep thinking. So
No, I'm pretty chill tonight.
You are.
I don't know if you noticed. I'm just hanging back and enjoying the show. Pretty chill tonight. Not a whole lot to complain.
It's been a good show so far. I've enjoyed it. Yeah.
So tonight you're eating peppermints and crapping strawberry swirl ice cream.
Yeah, man. Having a little
candy
bit of
canes.
Candy canes. Yes.
Having a little Corona here.
It's a Christmas miracle. Thank you, Otis here. Thank you.
No problem.
Otis here will be back on the next podcast with eating nails and crapping barbed wire. Merry Christmas, everybody. Hey, well, that's fine. That is fine because I have something.
No, wait.
Wonderful.
I remember something.
Okay.
I remember something now. It's easy, something simple. Decarb. You know what decarbing is, right?
Of course.
When you're forging your knife, this I didn't know I was going to find when I was forging my caveman. After I quenched it, and I went to test file the thing, I had to consciously, push myself to remember. Okay, I have to fight through some decarbing, and because I had it before on a knife, and I would test file the thing, and it was soft, and I would test file it. I quenched it 3 times until the knife broke. Right, on a previous build, way, way, way back then when I first started messing with a cold forge. Now on this one, luckily I remembered. Right, okay, there's some decarb I have to fight, and I don't know exactly how deep the decarb goes on each steel. But I've noticed that some of these spring steels that we get from recycled, either from a coil spring or a leaf spring, there's some real bad decarbon in there. So yeah, nothing really to be really really pissed about. It's just that something you have to be mindful of. I don't know how about Eric, when you forge your knives, if you encounter decarbon on it.
So a lot of that's going to depend on how hot you're forging. So it's going to really depend on if you're getting it up to like 2,000 degrees or something like that, as opposed to it's what we would call the optimal forging temperature, because you can get it so hot that you start burning the carbon out of it. Some people that will forge it at glowing yellow or something like that, like they're trying to forge weld something together. But you don't need to do that. You just need to get it hot enough to be able to move it. And yeah, but yeah, you can really deal with decarb if you're
yeah. So
forging.
it didn't compromise the final hardness of the blade. I was able to get it nice and hard enough to scrape a ferro rod and throw sparks. So it's hard, right?
Yeah.
But the very surface there, I feel like I've lost. Maybe not lost. I don't think lost is the right word, but like I lost some material on the blade or something like that. So I mean, it's something that you don't see a lot of people talking about, and if they do, it's very brief. So maybe you could, on one of your Rivers Experience video there, do a little talking about it. I mean,
yeah.
Have you thought?
Yeah, I can do that.
Have you thought about maybe eating the steel and crapping the decarb before you? I mean, you're already eating nails. I mean,
yeah. No.
So yeah, you could do that.
Yeah.
There's a lot that you have to think about whenever it comes to forging though, and doing knives like that. I have to be careful whenever I'm doing the forge to finish knives, because you need to make sure that you leave room to be able to get through the decarb layer to be able to do your edge,
Okay.
but still forge it thin enough that the finish is there. You're not grinding any of that off. So yeah. Yeah, no, that knife, he's holding up a knife that he just finished, and it's like a caveman
looks like it's been napped.
knife. Yeah. And I think that turned out awesome. What did
It
you do
looks
to
like
sharpen that?
I I brought it down to as close as I could to the final edge, pretty thin on a hammer, and then I serrated it to look like a flint nap.
Do you serrate it on a grinder or with a file?
Yeah,
or
on a
what?
grinder. I couldn't do
cool.
that on a hammer. I tried
cool.
it; it just wouldn't go.
Well, speaking of forging, I've got something great to say. I talked with my buddies over at Majestic Forge this week. I'm ordering some components from them for a forge project I'm working on, and they said they gave me a good deal, because they said, "Hey, guess what? We've been selling a forge with people mentioning the Knives Templars." So,
good deal.
I'm so proud to hear that. Great. So let's take a moment and listen to the guys over at Majestic Forge. And guys, if you buy Majestic Forge, please tell them the Knives Templars sent you. We'll be right back.
Majestic Forge is owned and operated by Brian and Kayla Horn in Rushville, Ohio. With many years of experience manufacturing 2 to 5 burner gas forges, Majestic Forge is your #1 source for blacksmith forges, farrier forges, and specialty forges. They are dedicated to creating top-of-the-line forges at a price you can afford. Majestic Forge has supplied forges to blacksmith schools, high schools, colleges, production shops, and TV shows such as Mythbusters. And Majestic Forge is the forge of choice for televisions forged in fire. Knife makers are in luck as they offer forges that come with 2 or 3 deluxe burners. Here at Knives Templars, we are sure that you can find a USA-made Majestic Forge to suit your needs. Check out your next forge at majesticforge.com.
All right, welcome back. And I tell you what, when you forge those knives, let me tell you what else you need to do. You need to go out and get you some wood from who, Otis here?
Oleg
over at knife-wood.com. He's put out some new knife sets here lately, and if you're following him on Facebook, you'll see he's got some new videos where he's showing those knife the wood, stabilized wood for his handles in great detail. Makes it easy to order. You can order them. They're coming right out of Pennsylvania, and they'll get to you in a few days, not necessarily having to come over from Russia anymore. So it's great. So, guys, if you want some great stabilized wood handles in all different varieties of wood, it's just gorgeous stuff, gorgeous colors. Head over to knife-wood.com and see what Oleg's got to offer.
Yeah, I got to put an order in there.
Yeah,
I'm running low.
I just got ordered 8 blocks today, and I'm excited about getting them.
Yeah, I got a couple blocks a week and a half ago, and they're waiting to go on projects now. And he suckered me in. He used his new little video interface where he shows the wood and flashes it around like the shopping channel. I'm like, I gotta have that. So, I ordered number 40, and it was in my mailbox in a few days.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, if I had the means, I would buy every little brick that he's got in stock. You would all be like, "Hey, Pinto, can I have one of them blocks?" Like, yeah, here, $50. You know.
Yep.
Hey, Don, speaking of buying stuff here lately, Don, I just bought something that you've got. Tell us about your new piece of equipment.
Well, I bought from Mare Braid, of course. I bought
and let me put a little disclaimer in here. I'm doing this because I just bought the same thing, and because I saw what Don did with it, and I've been wanting something like this. So when Don speaks of this, just know that mine's newer than Don's, but it's the very Go ahead, Don.
No, it's called the Deep Notch tool rest. Mare Braid put it out where you can grind your bevels. You know, a lot of us out there still use a jig and stuff like that. So the grind bevel's cleaner and also have that experience of grinding by hand also, because you can feel the heat. When you're holding a knife to do that, you still feel that heat, especially after you heat treat. So, which is very important because you don't want to overheat that blade and burn your temper. But I've been working with it. I've been talking to Chip there and just been working with it a little bit, getting it down. But it's so far.
What's the name of the tool again?
It's is it Deep Notch?
Yeah, the Deep Notch tool rest from
Mare Braid. Like a tilt table?
Yeah, it's a tilt table, yes.
And he got, and I got the same thing because I copied him. But I got the new platen and the 2-inch wheels rather than the big 4-inch rubber wheel. It's got 2 metal wheels. Yeah. And Don set it off at about 50 degrees, and then he adjusts his table to that, to whatever he wants his final angle to be on his blade. And you bring it up till it starts to make contact, and you bring it off. The only thing I would do a little different, Don, you may have already figured this out only because I watched some videos. Some guys are putting some electrical tape on the steel just to keep the scratches down.
Yeah, you have to do that because it will scratch your plates.
Yeah, so put some electrical tape on it, and then it's just going to grind everything away that's not tape or steel at that point on your cutting or where you're grinding. But it gives you 3 options. I still use a jig these days. I can freehand, guys. I thank you so much for teaching me how to freehand. And really, it's just watching your videos and you giving me encouragement. I can freehand, but I'm looking forward to doing this because my freehanding is okay. It's not great by any means. It's okay. I have to do a lot of cleaning up with belts at the end, but I just see this as another great opportunity to set and hold that angle and get the precision of a jig and still freehand it to a certain degree to what you want. So it's a really cool tool you got. And I think I've got, what do we got, about $330 into that,
Yes,
Don? So it's
that's
not
correct.
really that
330.
expensive.
Yes, not that bad.
And I like a real crisp line, and you've been pulling some really crisp lines with that.
Yeah, it's still, I mean, even though it's a jig, I mean, it's like a regular jig that we use. You still gotta use it. You know what I mean? You still have to finesse it. And, I mean, it's not a CNC machine. It's not like that, but it's still, the mini, I've done I think I've done 4 knives with it so far, and just just takes practice with anything else, you know. But you have to finesse it, and it's like anything. I'm not used to it because I'm used to holding a jig, you know, like, you know, and but it's a little bit different because they tilt that table at 50 degrees. That way it's not straight and vertical. It's easier when you tilt it. That way you can lay the blade on there, slide it up there till it hits the belt, and then you can run it across. And it seemed to be working pretty good. But like I said, it just takes some practice.
Yeah, and Don actually showed me where he made some adjustments on his table, kind of ground it back a little bit so he can get tighter. So
the backside, the backside notch, you want to go in there and grind it. That way, it allows you to get down to that 2 degrees, 2.5 degrees on the belt.
Yeah. Hey, Don, where can people find this table and at?
You can buy it at Ameribraid. Ameribraid.
And if you want to pick up an extra platen just so you got the pair together, you can find it at ameribraid.com.
I mean, that's right. I would definitely get the platen. I mean, I do it because I don't want to move my other platen back and forth. So I just got an extra platen. It ain't that much more. And that way I can set it and forget it.
He with the most platens wins.
Hey.
and I've got backup platens, so I've got extra platens they're like ladies in waiting. They're just sitting there for their opportunity to hit my platen, their replacement parts. I was talking about Majestic Forge. I don't know what it is with me. I love to have a certain amount of replacement parts, so I basically am a situation where about half of my shop can fall apart, and I've got something else to replace it with on wear parts, of course. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, I'm not going to walk around with a spare motor or a spare VFD or anything, but yeah, it's pretty cool to be able to get some replacement parts like that that you may need.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that tilt table, it's pretty awesome. I have one also.
Yeah.
But of lately, I mostly use it for my false edges, for the swedge grinding.
Yeah.
It's great for that.
Well, that's good to hear. I'm gonna have to hit you up for some instruction on that.
Most of my grinding now is free-handed. Yeah. I've finally was able to, do the jump and learn to freehand.
So you're using that for that false edge. So do you just adjust the table to the degrees that you want and just grind at that level?
Usually right around 45 degrees, and I will mark my center line on the spine, grind it to the center line on both sides. Yeah. Good to go.
Oh, you're the king of false edges. I love your work there. So
it's awesome. Really if you want to do some false edge, that tilt table that you got is the key, and it's awesome. You don't have to be thinking about it. Just set it at the angle that you want. Mark your center line and grind to that center line. Good to go.
Well, I've got something exciting to talk about, guys. Excuse me for getting loud, but I'm excited.
Oh, yeah?
Right after we hear from our guys over at Ameribraid.
Hey, listeners, let's take a moment today to thank one of our sponsors for today's show, and that sponsor is Ameribraid Grinders. Eric and Kevin over at Ameribraid have sold thousands of these grinders, and they are super nice guys, and their customer service is excellent. I would know. I've been personally using their 2x72 grinder now for 2 years, and it has changed my knife making to a whole new level. So if you're in the market for or looking to upgrade from that 1x30 or 2x42, then give AmeriBraid a look. There you'll find they have 3 packages of grinders to offer. They have a mastery package, a foundations package, and a get grinding package, in which all of them come at different price points. So I'm sure you'll find something that'll suit your needs as a knife maker. Also, AmeriBraid has a ton of innovative attachments for their grinders. So listeners, you can find out about all of this at www.ameribraid.com. Go give them a look, see what they have to offer today. And now, back to the show.
All right. Did you get excited while you were waiting for that, my friends?
Very. Oh, yeah.
Are you anticipation? We got this company called Pops Knife Supplies. You know what they do for us? They support us wonderfully. They are such good guys. They support us with great products. They've got a great packer over there. Yep. Luke's wearing his Pop shirt tonight. Hey, Luke, you do pack a lot of supplies, don't you?
I do. I feel like I do a good bit of it.
I saw a job opening for a fudge shipping agent up at the ARC Experience. I was wondering if you didn't want to start packing fudge and sending it all over the country.
I gotta say, as much as I would love to apply for said position, I'm pretty happy where I am at the moment.
You'd really love to apply for that position, you say?
I'm happy where I am at the moment.
I'm glad you're happy where you are too. Hey, Pops does a wonderful job for us, and they do a wonderful job having people like Luke and McKenna. And who's your other buddy that works with the other? I apologize. He is
Dusty.
Dusty, yeah, who makes beautiful knives. It'll probably be dropped tonight as well. And that's called Fiddleback Friday?
Yes, sir. So it'll be on fiddlebackforge.com/Friday. I believe.
And you're going to be able to see some Luke Berry knives out there. And if you have not already purchased your Berry blades, go out there and check it out is it on Facebook where we'll see that?
It'll be on Instagram at Fiddleback
Forge. Yeah. Go take a look at all the knives out there. All of them are putting beautiful knives, but also buy everything Luke has. He's wanting to he needs a bus ticket up to Kentucky. He's got a job waiting on him up there.
I needed an AmeriBraid, guys. I need an AmeriBraid. I need an Even Heat. I need a bunch of things.
Well, I'm going to be talking to our guys at Even Heat and see if I can't set up something with them here in the future. So anyway, you guys sell Even Heat over at Pops, right?
We do, correct.
That may be my connection. So we'll
see
if we can't set up something there. But more importantly, Pops supports us by letting them use this to put together the Maker's Mark series. And we have an exciting knife maker with us tonight who's from the great state of Alabama and went to a really neat event here. So we're going to let him talk about his knives and also something about being down at the USS Alabama past weekend or so, and his name is Mark Vassallo, right?
That's it, Chip.
I got it. Everybody will write. Joey Terrio, our first episode, I couldn't pronounce his name, and they're like, you can remember whatever, but you couldn't remember that. And just so you know, I used to teach Dale Carnegie courses, and part of that was to remember the 50 people's names that was in the room that night when they first came in, and I was good at it. But as I've gotten older, I'm just getting more stupid. So,
I mean, you didn't know what au jus was.
No, it wasn't au jus. I know what au jus was.
No, it was aioli. Aioli sauce.
Yes, aioli. Yeah. Aioli, rock and rolly. Mark, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks a lot. It's great to be here.
And you're down in the great city of Mobile, Alabama?
I am.
Or just around, or do you live in
No,
Mobile?
I actually live in Mobile.
Well, good deal. So tell us about yourself, man.
Well, so really just retired from the Air Force, right? So, went in the Air Force.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I went in the Air Force way back in '89. Did a lot of time as an enlisted aircraft mechanic. Went to college, got commissioned, spent some more time, and retired as a aircraft maintenance officer out of Texas. So I was out in Abilene, Texas for the last 4 years of my career, and we ended up coming out here to Alabama. I had a couple assignments up in Montgomery, up that way.
Nice Air Force base.
Yeah, absolutely. And so and it was great to be up there. And we just decided my son wanted to go to college out here, so we retired, followed him out here. and he's going to school at the University of South Alabama, and excited.
That's what I was expecting to hear there. So cool. So is he in his undergrad program, or?
Well, yes, absolutely. Yeah, he's going to school for computer engineering down here.
Oh wow!
Oh wow!
That's a really good school. They put out a lot of doctors and engineers and high tech people. So good for him.
I figure they have an engineering program and a nursing program, so that might work out. For him.
I was wondering for you, because as you know, when you get older, I always make sure that I treat my children very well, because I know someday they'll be feeding me pudding. So, you're talking about nursing, you can probably also take care of your meds. So, yeah, my son went to one of my sons. He went to Birmingham Southern up in Birmingham, and he's up at University of Kentucky. He's going to be a dentist, and just so happens that I've got a bridge that's about 25 years old. So maybe by the time he graduates, he can upgrade it to a nice grill. And with it, maybe I can get some gold or something like that in that grill. Maybe a nice tinfoil logo and a Bigfoot walking across my teeth. So, Mark, how did you get started making knives?
So I listened to everybody's stories, right? And it seems like, a little bit similar to a lot of folks. As a kid, I would go to flea markets and see all these old, cool knives. And I have this big bag of them, so every time I go with my dad, I'd be buying a knife, whether it was, a overpriced, piece of junk, or, there's a couple nice ones in there, and just got excited about that. And, at some point, I was, looking at these, and I had somebody in the Air Force, and they said that, I just made this knife. And really, I was surprised that actually somebody made a knife that wasn't, bench made or any of that. So, like everybody, I went on YouTube, and he's like, just go out and buy a 1x30 and make a knife. So, really my first search was, 1x30 grinders and knife making. And the first two folks that popped up were Eric here and Outdoor 55. And those two came up, and I watched a couple videos. I was like, I don't know, I think I could do that. So, grab the file. My wife is into horses, so we have this pile of farrier's rasps that I had a friend give us, and I said, hey, let me see if I could make something. And to my surprise, I made something, and it actually turned out looking like a knife, and it was really all over at that point,
Well, that's wonderful. I think that we are all keeping the country of Taiwan certainly in good shape by buying all those 1x30s that come out there. There's a lot of 1x30s that end up in knife makers' hands. So you've made some beautiful knives. So you've gone well beyond the what you say, because we all made a knife type object as our first one here or there, and you've come right along. How long have you been making them now?
So, I think I started probably like that first one was maybe like a couple of years ago. Then, then stuff came up, and I was working on retirement and everything. And I came out here to Alabama and hadn't really found a job yet. So I had maybe 6-8 months that I was, at home, and I was like, I'm going to go and get myself a retirement gift. So I went out and bought myself a nice Ameribraid, 2x72.
Yeah, I do. I see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can say that you and Don and Joey Terrio certainly influenced me on my Ameribraid purchase. And I think Don may have had his a short time. I think you were just assembling yours as mine was coming through the door.
Yeah, I remember that. I was excited. All those boxes show up, putting it together, and but I couldn't believe. I'll tell you, it was a game changer. So. So once I got that, I probably did like 4. I think I did like 5, maybe 5 knives on that so far. And really is just I'm in the phase now that everything I see I want to try a different type to see what I like, right? And so made a couple, and then I'm just real excited. And the problem now is that I got a job. And that takes away from my knife making time. And unfortunately, I'm working for the city of Mobile.
Jobs are a problem with that.
Yeah.
So you working on their jets?
No, I work for the city of Mobile. I'm the director of public services. Yeah.
They don't have jets.
You know, they don't.
That's a shame.
They do at Airbus, but they wouldn't hire me. So
yeah. So you said you're the director of
public services for the city.
So you can't get me out of a ticket or anything.
No. That's that's PD.
You wouldn't do that because it's not legal, ethical, or policy adherence anyway. How dare I ask such a thing? Well, good for you. I'm glad you landed a good job like that coming out of the military. And again, thank you for your service. But that's pretty cool. So undoubtedly, though, all jobs come with their own stresses and everything. But you can be home in the evenings and eat something real quick, make everybody happy, and run out to the shop and do your thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not deployed for a year. So, at a time. So good. It's really it's a nice change and good stability for my family.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Now, so what are you using as far as heat treating and things like that?
So, really it's still what I'm doing. So the first thing I was trying to do it with, MAP gas torches that I got at, Lowe's or something. And and so I was doing that. And really my first ones, I wasn't heat treating at all. I was just trying not to ruin the temper on the files.
True.
And so that's kind of where I went. And then I was finding that was kind of destroying belts and everything else because the files are really hard. And so I annealed some files and then gave a shot at heat treating. But, I went on and again, I think I found, I don't know if it was Eric's video or one of the other videos, but made one of those Venturi burners, and then got a 2-brick forge together, and really that's what I've been using. So,
Now, did you see the forge that Eric just made here recently, where he's actually?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's like the transformer forge.
That's what it is.
Blowing fire in from the side. How's that working out, Eric?
It's working out real well. I've enjoyed it. It's nice because you don't have the burner just running straight down onto the blade. It creates a cool vortex in there, and it makes it's so even. The steel is so even in color. It's nice.
And so for people listening that may not know, you can see it certainly out on the Rivers Experience on Facebook. But Eric has turned his burners to the side and he's blowing everything in horizontally. Mm-hmm. Now, don't do this until we see Eric do this for 6 months and doesn't blow himself up, but or the burners take off like a rocket out the side of his new building. But yeah, it's really a cool concept because I actually take the and I don't see anything wrong with it. I take my steel and set it off to the side so it's not in that direct heat. So you're just basically doing it where you don't have to prop things up.
Yeah, if you look at everybody who's got a ribbon burner forge or forced air forge, all of them, their burners are coming in from the side.
Right.
And I was like, man, that kind of just makes sense. And I think that this would work. And the downside to having multiple burner forges is if you're not using the second burner, the heat can go up through that burner and get the top of that burner really, really hot, like where your hose is coming into it. Yes. If you don't have the burner going where it's pulling in cool air. Yeah. So I was sitting there going, man, I feel like this is going to ruin the hoses that are on the top of this. I feel like this is just not going to be good. So I moved it. I decided, okay, break out the welder and the grinder, cut everything off, switch it down. But it's nice because I can easily put it back to the top if I wanted to, or just use it on the side.
It looks wonderful. I like the look. So Mark, are you still using your 2-brick forge, or what do you got going on?
I am. Really, I think that's probably going to be my either next purchase or build is to kind of do up the do up the forge a little bit better. Right now that's about the limit of material I could fit in, and I bought that 4-inch piece of 8670, and there's a couple knives I was looking at that. Hey, I want to try something that's a little bit wider, and so so I'm gonna have to build something to fit it.
Beard Ops, he uses he's got a 2-burner forge with a Venturi burner, like a Frosty T.
Mm-hmm.
Red Beard Ops, and he uses that thing all the time. He's got his other forges and everything, but he uses that little 2-brick all the time for just simple knife stuff and doing a little bit of forging. It's nice.
Saves gas too.
It heats up quick and nice.
Yeah, I went and bought some KO wool. I bought some hardboard, and I've got some Satanite, and I'm going to be making a forge here in the future just because I can. I don't know if you guys saw that the deer lamp that I made.
Yeah,
that was nice.
That was awesome.
Beautiful, man. Real nice.
Can I tell you something? If you go and shoot you a deer on eBay for $130, and it arrives beautiful European, it's fleshed mount or fleshed skull, beautiful 8-point, and then you make a gun barrel out of some black steel and sand it down and then blue it and put it on a beautiful piece of basswood and do all this extra little stuff to dress it up. Did you know how much those things are worth?
How much?
Nothing. Nobody will buy them. They're like. I made this most beautiful lamp in my eyes. My wife says it's not going in this house, but I made this most beautiful lamp, and everybody sees it, says that is gorgeous, and they're like, you have to make me one with one of my skulls one day. I didn't realize that you had to have them bring them your skull. Nobody wants one of a skull you bought on eBay. So even if they did lie and say that was my deer, I would just lie. But now I've got this deer head lamp. So now I'm saying I bought all this stuff to make my own forge. So we'll see how much it's worth when it's done.
This reminds me of the competition. Well, I say it from A Christmas Story, the movie.
Yeah.
What did he call it? The reward. The leg lamp in A Christmas Story.
Funny you say that, yeah.
It's a strikingly similar comparison.
Shut up, Luke. You sound like my future daughter-in-law. She goes, well, the Carlyles have their leg lamp now.
Exactly. Yeah.
And we're going to decorate the horns or the antlers for Christmas. But Odysseus would display that lamp in his house, wouldn't you, Odysseus?
Oh yeah. I do love me some skulls.
Well, you gave me a cool knife. Maybe I'll have to bring you a lamp to Blade Show or something and give it to you.
I have a question for Mark.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, couple actually. First one, beginning with your knife, with your knives in general. Do you have like a particular style? I always like to ask this of the makers. Do you have a particular style that you like to make, or you just go with the flow and do what you're feeling at that moment?
What he really
question number two, regarding the Air Force.
Who influenced you other than Odysseus Pinto? That's what he wants to hear.
And regarding the Air Force, is the Stargate real?
Well, that's one of those, if I told you, I'd have to kill you.
Okay.
No. But yeah, so to the first question, I think I'm at that point where I want to make everything I see. So I'm online and I see another knife and I'm like, oh yeah, I want to try that. So I think what I enjoy, and I think a lot of folks, again, I have all my family members are like, hey, you gonna make me one of those for Christmas, and you gonna make me. So I'm getting the free orders in right now, and so I'm making a lot of these. So I'm making a lot of these like smaller, like EDC. It's like an EDC hunter, fighter. Utility knife. Probably 3.5-inch blade type knives, and so I made a couple of those, and then I'm making my first. I made one hidden tang knife, and I'm working on a bigger hunter fighter type of one now, and seeing if I like that. But just trying different things, I think.
That's a nice piece of steel you got on that knife there. Whose is that?
This one right here.
The filing guide. The filing.
Oh yeah, this is the TR Maker. I was trying to get the one off of Pops and or not Pops, but yeah, I was trying to get the one off of Pops, and they were out of stock, and I'm impatient.
Oh, did you know you can call Luke directly?
You always can.
Oh yeah.
He probably had some extras in the back pocket for people who call him, like Don. Don calls on the Don phone and says, "Hey, Luke, I need a file guide." Luke says, "I've got one in my back."
Hey, I'll tell you though,
the Don.
I ordered that steel and it came like maybe 2 days later. That was the quickest. I was almost shocked because I figured I was going to be waiting, like a month or something because it's steel.
Yeah.
But it came quick.
Luke, what days of the week do you work?
So typically Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but I just picked up a fourth day that will kind of alternate between Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Okay, so you can call on Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, possibly Tuesday and Thursday, and get a 33% of calling Luke and give him a hard time, as well as Luke. How comes there's no stickers in my orders these days?
So we've ran out of stickers.
Huh.
We are in the process of hopefully doing a collaboration sticker with a belt company that we've been working really closely with.
You don't want to do a collaboration sticker with the Knives Templars podcast?
Oh, that'd be nice.
You're just
a packer. You're just a packer.
I'm the packer. Yeah, that's me.
All right.
I'm the customer service.
I'm joking. That's wonderful. We'll be looking for our stickers in the future. I'm sorry, Otis here. Did he answer all those questions you?
Yeah, I was going to ask him about the file guide that he's got. I mean, it's a pretty looking one.
Yeah.
There.
So this.
How big is it? Is it like a really wide and long block, or is it very narrow?
So I think it was a 3-inch width.
Hold it up in front of your face. There we go.
And then
a little higher. There it is.
Okay.
We can see it.
Yeah, and then I tried to find one that was fairly wide because I want that. I kind of wanted that flat surface that I can keep from rocking the file on.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, I was gonna say, I had some experiences with file guides. Now I am on my third one. The last one, and I think it's gonna be my last one, is the one that came from Brazil. I posted some pictures of that monster.
Yeah.
So it's holding
just
up for
about 4.5 inches long.
Yeah.
Almost a square inch each side.
That's awesome.
So it is a beefy one. So there is no rocking on the files there. So when you're doing your shoulders, make sure you keep your thumb or one of your fingers right in the middle of the shoulder, not to have a little bow in the middle, because if you hold the files by each end and you're pushing it down, the files are hard, but it will bow just a little bit, just enough that when you go to sit your guard in there, the guard is going to be rocking side to side like this, up and down, and that is a problem that you don't want to encounter on a hidden thing. Okay, you're gonna drive you nuts to figure out why that is happening, and it's just because you're putting pressure on the tips of the files. Okay,
that's
so
a great tip.
Filing your shoulders.
Great tip.
When you're filing your shoulders, keep your finger right in the middle of the shoulder area as you push in the files. Keep it nice and flush. Y'all have seen my latest my latest pictures I've been posting of my guard and shoulders.
Oh yeah.
And that is how you do it. You
they're
keep
tight.
your finger right on top of that thing, preventing it from creating like an arc right in the middle. Is minute, but is enough to create a little hairline in there that for me is unsightly. I don't like it. Yeah, so that's the pinto tip for the day.
That's awesome.
Otis Knife Maker, Papa's son. So he's our Mister.
So
he's our
that's
Mr.
a good
Miyagi.
looking. That's a good looking file guide, by the way.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen those as well. That's why I asked about it. It does look nice. Pretty penny, but well worth it.
So this is where I came from.
That's Eric's special.
Yep, this is cut a couple pieces of steel and throw it on there.
Yeah. That'll work if you push it in on against your the platen, so you can do your plunge lines equal on both sides. Just be careful not to tilt it because it's gonna go right through. The carbide ones, however, will take that belt like nothing. I have a set of carbide ones that I put it on my plunge lines, and I push it right against that belt, and no issue. So
Nice.
the carbides will work great against the belt.
So, Mark, where can we find your knives at?
So I actually just started my Instagram account, and
yes,
I've seen
it. And really, it was a while before I even came up with it, because I was trying to finally decide on the name that I was going to use, and I settled on VMAX Custom Works.
Oh wow!
Yeah, VMAX was, in the Air Force, everybody has call signs, and that's a thing, and my call sign was VMAX. So I think it works with my my Air Force roots, and then so VMAX Custom Works on Instagram is where you can see stuff now, and hopefully a lot more posting in the near future.
And just so you know, not just the military. I was Cub Master Chip for 6 years, and we had call sign names as well. And mine was Mr. Monkey Bread.
It had to have been that. I don't know if you just made that up or not. It had to have been that.
Pinto started laughing a ways before the punchline. He knew that was coming.
Well,
talking
Mark,
about monkey bread, my wife makes the most delicious monkey bread ever.
Well, she's never competed with Mr.
If you're
Monkey
ever around, if you're ever in the area, I gotta have her make us some monkey bread, man.
She's never competed with Mr.
Blade
Monkey
Show.
Bread.
Blade Show, it has to come now.
Blade Show breakfast.
Nah, man, that thing is
Templars
nice,
monkey bread.
warm off the oven on the spot. You gotta eat it hot.
Can we have a monkey bread cook-off over at the Pops table there, Luke?
If we had an oven, I would say yes. Maybe we can set the even heat to a certain.
There you go.
Bring some even heat.
We do have some larger ovens, so maybe we'll see what we can do.
I know one of the other podcasts were out there making baked oysters or seared oysters or something like that in their oven. So we can compete with them by making monkey bread in our even heat. So we'll see where we
fancy.
go. All right, guys. Now comes the big moment. What do you say? I'm going to say that I'm nominating Mark to become a Knives Templar. Do we have anybody to second that?
Second.
Aye.
Third.
Fourth, fifth. Oh, everybody that says everybody agrees he's a Templar. Everybody agrees he's a Templar. Say aye.
Aye.
Now say shamalama ding dong.
Shamalama ding dong.
Say you're in like Flynn, baby.
Like Flynn, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Well, Mark, welcome to the Templars. We're out of shirts, but like I said earlier, Otis here will be sending you a sticker from the Banana Heats at lunch tomorrow. Says Dole, and you can put that anywhere you like, and be sure and put the Knives Templars on your resume.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll be glad to have you. Yes, sir. All right, guys.
Yeah, man.
Mark, glad you're on the show, and
yes.
You're welcome back anytime. You're a Templar, and we're going to take a second to talk about our friends who make this possible, and that's the guys over at Pops. Be right back.
Pops Knife Supply was started 40 years ago and is owned by 4 professional knife makers: Andy Roy of Fiddleback Forge, Alan Searles of W.A. Searles Knives, Joey Berry of J.B. Knife Works, and Dirk Lutz of Dirk Lutz Knives. Make a great team of owners carrying on the traditions and business started by James Poplin. Over 4 decades in business is a testament to the best customer service with same-day shipping on weekdays. Pops only charges actual shipping, and any shipping differences are refunded on your orders. Everything you need to make knives, from grinding, steel, pin stock, heat treating, and more, can be found at Pops. Visit them at popsknife.supplies. And now, back to the show.
I'll tell you what, guys, Mark was a fun interview. It is so cool the people we're getting out there in America. And I don't want to go without saying thank you to Pops Knife Supplies. All of the owners over there, McKenna and Luke and every other employee, they bring something special to knife making. And, it's because they are knife makers. They are involved in the community. They've got great products. Their customer service is tops. And they're helping us bring all these great makers out here. And certainly, Mark was another great one. So, keep them coming. Hey guys, if you want to be on
the Maker's Mark portion of our show, just drop us a line on the Rivers Experience, or you can find us on Facebook at the Knives Templar Podcast. Look for the group there, or certainly friend me as Chip Carlisle on Facebook, and let me know you want to be on. Also, I want to add at this time, we're starting to see more and more. So if you want to record a question to us, record a question sometime. And you can send that into Chip, CHIP.Carlisle, CARLISLE, at gmail.com. Record your question and send it into us, and we'll play it on the air. And you can also find us and message us on the Rivers Experience, the Knives Templars, and list your questions there. Ask us questions, give us some feedback. Just let us know how you want to communicate. We'd love to have you there. So, guys, that was a fun time, was it not?
It was great. Man. Enjoyed meeting you.
Absolutely great.
All right. Well,
yes, it was.
That was good. Hey, as we're winding down here, I think we've got a time. I've got a couple questions that came in this past. We've been 3 weeks since we recorded, because we decided to skip a week so we could get closer to Christmas for a Christmas show and not upset our holidays, but also to let some folks get out and do some traveling, as I did, Notice Here did, and so on. And let some people get better, because Sneezy, Luke Berry, has been sick for a couple weeks. So it's good to have you back, Luke. You are a pleasure to have on our show. You ready for a question, Luke? You ready for a question, Luke?
Please.
You need a tissue?
I'm actually using that right now as a microphone stand.
Okay.
So I have some. I'm ready.
Well, pull your one out of the box just in case. Bill says, I have a dedicated 4x6 bandsaw that I'm going to continue to use, but I have been giving thought to adding a portaband with a stand. What are the good ones?
Oh,
I'm on the market for one as well. I don't know.
I wish I could remember the brand that we use.
Well, we know who makes them. You can get a Bauer from Harbor Freight.
Milwaukee.
You can get a DeWalt, Milwaukee, from some of your big box stores.
Got a question about those.
Yeah.
Man, how much, if any, steel can you go through with it? The only reason I would ever try to buy or a bench saw would be to cut back on my profiling time.
And that's why I got one. When I went to a bandsaw, it's like
portaband or the full size one.
Portaband. It's like, and here's what it is. I've got a portaband with a swag table, and so here's what I have to say about that. Using a bandsaw to cut out your steel is like using a sharp knife on thick leather versus a dull knife on leather. I mean, you can cut through it, but Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. So using a knife on a piece of thick leather, a sharp knife versus a dull knife, that's kind of the difference of using a grinder versus a bandsaw. You can just go through steel so much easier and be more precise, and you waste less steel. But what I have found is that many of our appliances are made in the same places. As a matter of fact, if you look at the molds on them, the only thing really different is a couple little distinct differences and where the labels are placed in the colors. So many of them are almost identical that I have the feeling that they're coming out of the same plant or sister plants or similar designs. And while there may be cheaper bearings in one or who knows what, I've been using a Bauer from Harbor Freight that I got on sale, and I spent more money on my swag table, probably 3 times as much money on my swag table. And I've had no problems with it whatsoever. And I keep extra bearings if I ever need to replace anything. I told you I'm the change part king, but I've probably cut 50, 60 knives, and the only thing I'm changing is saw blades when it's time to put a new one on there. They're holding up great. Eric, you've got some experience with those Bauers, don't you?
Yeah. I finally am replacing one of mine, and I'll be swapping it out here this weekend. And I've replaced the bearings on it, and replaced the switch on it, and replaced.
How long have you been using it? How long have you been using it?
over 2 years, and it's
but
had.
You're making a knife or more a week and big steel and all that stuff.
Yeah, okay. I've used it for about 130 knives, and not just that, but that's just the 130 knives. Plus, I have all my fabricating projects that I do that I don't even show on the channel. Whenever I'm building racks or building stuff for vehicles or doing all these other things, so I'm cutting angle iron with it. I'm cutting square tubing with it. I do everything with that, and it has been the best money saving utility tool in my shop because I use it for cutting steel, wood, literally everything, and it's just a Bauer one, and the reason why I got another one
same
is,
blade. Use the same blade for steel and wood.
Yeah. 14 14 TPI for steel and wood.
It works great on stabilized wood.
Exactly.
That's the reason why I build yourself a gate to slide it down, and then it's great.
And but yeah, man, $89. It has
versus $160 to $200 if you buy a higher brand at one of the big box stores.
Even if you got one of those, using an angle iron or an angle grinder to cut out all of your stuff is a pain in the butt and a headache. I
say it's a lot more unsafe too. I think it's a lot more because those discs can come apart.
I have to try this bench sauteing because I've been cutting all my stuff with an angle grinder. I've got used to it, and I'm pretty good with it. I go through it very quickly.
Dude, no sparks. No.
The only thing I don't like about the grinder is the smell.
Yeah.
Even with the mask, you can still catch it.
And there's none of that. There's none of that because it's taking big chunks out of the steel as opposed to creating that fine dust and particles from your the grinder disc slowly sanding down because all that's going into the air. And
all that stuff you sweep out of the shop after grinding out or cutting out a blade, you'll never do again. But I also tell you that you're cutting almost right up next to your scribe line. So whether you're saving steel or not, when you go in to start, you're saving on belts because you're not having to ground so much steel away. I think it pays for itself. If you go buy a swag table, or whether you build yourself a table, you can do that. But if you buy a swag table, don't get the painted one. If you want to paint one, get some grill paint and paint it black, but you don't have to. I just keep mine. I throw some oil on it occasionally, and it fits a series of saws. And I just went out and bought the Bauer, like you said. I think I got mine for like $59 or something on some special weekend. And I can buy, if they're $89, I can still buy 2.5 of them, before one wears out if it lasted 2 or 3 years. So
14 TPI, you say?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the sweet spot.
The trick is get yourself some extra blades because you're going to get into a piece of hard steel and you're going to grind them down. So just always keep some extra blades. I don't go through a ton of blades. I've probably only changed out 3 or 4 blades in the 6 or 7 months I've had it. But the point is that you don't, if you're sitting there pushing,
they're cheap.
They are cheap.
Yeah. And I get Linux brand. From Lowe's, just get them in 3 packs and I'll cut out, bunches of knives before I have to worry about doing that. And there's no risk of catching an angle grinder disc to the eyeball or the face.
Where's the fun in it, man?
And if you're going to have to split because you're going to do like a full tang, one of Oleg's pieces of wood that you don't want to destroy it, I put a piece of angle iron on there, made myself a gate to slide it down. I set it at my thickness, and I take a push stick and put it through, and there is very little sanding I have to do to flatten it out. It's just a great tool.
Man, I must say something. Y'all gringos have too much consideration for safety. Where's the fun in it?
Dude, I'm a safety engineer. I've got a bachelor's in safety engineering. And every time I make a video, everybody that works with me or knows what I do, they start critiquing the crap out of me on everything they see me doing in my shop. So I actually work pretty safe, but my answer is always OSHA has no jurisdiction on me at the house.
Yeah.
But I do work safe.
Don.
Hey, Don.
I think the Bauer saw with a swag table is probably the best money spent.
Yeah,
it is.
It is. Absolutely.
Luke, get you some of that.
I don't know, man.
The
I
swag
just
table?
got me that integral bolster and fuller attachment from the Broadback company.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you something, man. That thing is awesome.
Well, let me tell you this also. Matthew Rich, one of our previous co-hosts, wonderful guy. Hadn't seen him making a lot of knives lately, but he made his own table for his Bauer saw, and he sent me some plans for it, some photos of it. So he's another guy. If you want to make your own, he is a he's got an engineering mind. He can send that to you and show you how he made it. Yeah. He's also, he took a vertical saw and went and bought some stuff to turn it into a horizontal grinder, not saw. So yeah, if you're interested, contact old Matt. Y'all seen him making any knives lately?
Not really.
No.
He's got a baby that'll be here soon, so he's probably gone into nesting mode with his wife. But Matt's a wonderful, wonderful guy. We hope to have him back at some point in time. Hey, one more question before we get into winding this baby down. It's on grinders, as a matter of fact. It says, Bradley says, I seriously used the belt grinder the other night and determined the following. In vertical configuration, it sends most debris directly into the floor below. When in horizontal mode, it is more akin to a drunk guy in a truck stop bathroom.
Okay.
It simply sprays everywhere. I guess I should be happy it's not spraying in my face, but that's not the point. I am sharing a space with someone else, and it's not in either of our best interest to be in a layer of black dust covering everything in the work area, especially painted things, stained glass, and other items. How best does one reduce the output of such debris, capturing it if possible? Go ahead, Don.
Number one, you can't get it all, but I have built I call it the spark catcher. If you go to my page on Instagram, Don Wants the Knives, you'll see it because I demonstrated it what it does. But it catches a lot of them. But you take a register, I guess a air conditioning register at Home Depot or Lowe's, and if you got a mirror braid, that's the way I rigged it up. Mark, if he can hear me, he can do the same thing. If he goes to my Instagram, he'll see it, how I got it set up. But it does catch a lot of the dust. But you're not going to be able to get it all.
What do you have there, like a vacuum pulling out?
No, I don't.
Not a vacuum.
Not a vacuum, but what it does, it goes in that register and drops down into a bucket.
So I followed Don's plan, and so I've got a 5-gallon bucket, and then I got a flanged connector where you bend it inside and outside to connect a 8-inch round flange to a 5-gallon bucket lid. Mm-hmm. On top of that, I've got 2 elbows so I can set my angles, and it flanges out to a 10-inch air duct vent. And then I fill up the bucket with 4 inches of water down below, and then I send it under my grinding belt. And all of my sparks and everything coming off the belts goes down in there and hits a bucket of water. And about every 4 or 5 knives, I go, dump it all out and put the steel in the recycling bin. So hopefully they'll recycle it, the steel shavings and everything. And that's how I do it. Now, Don did his. He put his on a roller where he could roll it in, and I put elbows on mine so I could just angle it at the right angle. But that's it. I know that Trolsky in the past, I don't know what he's got now. He just had a big, 35-gallon drum with water or something underneath it, sitting underneath his grinder. Rivers has got something with PVC set up, don't you, Eric?
Yeah, I do. I was able to get that thing kind of exactly where it needed to be in order to collect a lot of the dust. But yeah, y'all using those vertical or horizontal configurations. I haven't tried that yet. I'm assuming that is kind of chaotic.
Yeah. So those are ways.
What I would do. I mean, it depends your setup and your location, right? But the way I have my grinder set up right now is right at the door. I open the shed door. My grinder is about 5 inches, and I have a fan on my left side blowing everything out of the shop. Right, so I mean, but then again, I don't have a next door neighbor grinding right next to me. Right, so it works for me.
Spraying all over him like a drunk at a truck stop.
Spraying all over, but out the door. Right, so I mean that is one way to if you can just put a fan right next to you and blow it out.
Yeah, I've got fans that blow as well that are near my opening.
But I've seen some setups just like what Don said. But I saw that the guy had a pretty intricate contraption there, a big old drum to collect the sparks, and on the side there had a shop vac pulling air into the drum, and there was some kind of a pipe going from the drum right next to the grinder, so it sort of works like an air filter. The vac start pulling in, sparks flow into the drum, heavy enough goes right down.
So if you ever want a good video to watch on stuff like that, go to Simple Little Life.
Oh yeah,
and he's got specific setups for because he's got like 3 2x72s that he uses in his shop. And he's got his air filtration system and all that stuff. But yeah, he's got really good collectors for things like that and goes into really good detailed videos. That would definitely be the person to check out.
Oh yeah.
Alrighty. Well, guys, we have hit the 2-hour mark and we still had our knife making main course, but I'm full tonight. And I think that we're going to be coming back together for our next recording on the 23rd of December. So we will make sure that let's kind of dedicate that show to talking about some knife making lessons, and we'll hit leather work, acid etching, and stone washing. If you're thinking about those things in the meantime, go over and hit us at the Knives Templars on Facebook and send some questions there, or just email us at the show or DM us at the show, and we can answer questions until then. But we'll definitely put something back together. I know this upcoming week we're all working on different projects, and hopefully we'll have some good things to talk about next time we're coming back. But this whole month is Merry Christmas month, and we're going to get to do it again on the 23rd. But we hope you all have a wonderful holiday season, a Merry Christmas. But most of all, as we get ready to move into the end of this year, we'll be approaching our 1-year anniversary on the Knives Templars. And without you, the listeners, we wouldn't go anywhere. And I'll be honest with you, we're not making money off this show. We're doing it because it's a passion, just like the passion of you making knives out there. And we want to share and grow. It's more about the community. So thanks for being a part of our community. And we look forward to seeing you on the next Knives Templars.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
All right, Otis here. After show. What's up, buddy?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be. It'll be on the show. They'll still be listening.
No. I mean, I was thinking about. I was watching a video by Dustin O'Hara earlier today.
Yeah.
And he mentioned Tandy Leather up in Baltimore.
Right.
So I'm gonna be making a quick trip over there tomorrow. Gotta get me some proper rivets and clasps and buttons and maybe some good leather from them.
If you get some leather, get some 9 or 10 ounce.
I've got to get some clasps and all that stuff too as well.
Yeah, I don't know about 9 or 10 ounces. I need a trim mil thick piece of leather so I can work with pretty nice.
I have a Tandy leather work about like 20, 25 minutes from me. It's a really nice store.
So Luke said he could run down there and get it for you, pack it, and send it up with your next order. Basically.
Yeah, you place an order at Pop's Knife Supplies. I'll include.
You won't get any stickers.
And,
won't get any stickers, but it'll be fun.
Yeah.
I just need to make my own line of stickers and put them in the order.
So I had been using 7/8 ounce, and I like it. It's fine. I just like the heavy feel. I'll put it this way: if you're making the big knives, you make that 9-10 ounce is great, but 7/8 is about standard. But I like that heavier on a
like like the sheet I made for this little piece is a 3 mil thick piece of leather. So it's something I'm comfortable working with, and seems to be working fine for me. So
Mark, you're still on the show, so hey, welcome back. You're at the after show. You get to party with us, Papa Colwyn, brother.
Hey, all right,
Oh, Florida man.
Okay, this is A-OK.
A-OK.
That beer's A-OK with me. I've been milking this Michelob Ultra for 2 hours. And that's I gotta.
I only had you today, man.
Hey, Mark, I got a question for you, buddy.
Yeah.
What you do? You own leather work too?
I do. I started.
I've seen some. It look pretty nice, man.
Yeah, so you can get everything on YouTube. I'll tell you,
no doubt.
it's an amazing age, right? That we can not have to figure it out on our own, and some folks are figuring stuff out. So, so I've been going through and trying some of these leather sheaths, and keep trying a different style and see what works.
Yeah, it looked good. I went through your thing. I've been seeing your work. You do a good job, man.
Hey, I appreciate it.
Do a real good job.
Yeah, it is good looking work. Hey, Don, I'll switch gears on you here real quick. I told you I've got a Gibson J45.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
And so I found this version of "In Your Eyes," the old Peter Gabriel song, but it's "In Your Eyes" by a guy called Jeffrey Gaines, and the recording's about 10 years old. But it's a beautiful, beautiful acoustic version of it. I don't know if you like Peter Gabriel or not. I'm practicing it right now. I'm getting ready.
Luke,
I love that song. Oh yeah, no, I completely choked on my spit. That was rough.
What are you guys talking about?
I messaged in the Templars group chat whenever I had my coughing spell, and just said I choked on my spit. I did.
Huh. Well, anyway, Don, if you like Peter Gabriel, I'm telling you, there's a great version of "In Your Eyes" by Jeffrey Gaines, and Luke has interrupted us yet again.
Well, now all I can think of is "In Your Eyes" by Peter Gabriel. It's a good song.
I don't see this audio recording. I just see you saying I choked on my spit.
Yeah,
I don't know. I about ducked. It was so loud. I'll cut it out. I'll cut it out.
Yeah, I wanted to say something, but I figured I would just leave it.
You're lurching forward, and all of a sudden, and I'm like, "Holy cow!"
It caught me out of nowhere, and I tried to breathe at the same time, and
my ears were numb.
That was like scared me. What the heck?
I will apologize, my guys.
Here's Eric. Hi, this is Eric.
Hey, it's hard because I'm having to adjust the volume on this plus the volume on the computer because it was at 100 on here, and right now
it was loud.
I am okay. How quiet is that?
You're right where you need to be,
like normal.
Okay,
it's just when the filter was touching your tonsils, it was like,
wow. Hey, one of the things that I have been doing is I have been EDCing a lot of my different knives that I've made that I'm never gonna sell to anybody, and I've been using the heck out of this. So this is one of the first ones that I ever did any forging on, and I forgot that I even had it, or I actually did the little crosshatch and forged it all in.
Cool. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That was done a while back.
Do you have a handle on it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful. I love that.
Yeah,
this
cool. Was is a real thick
Oh,
bird and
yeah.
trout. It's like the thickest bird and trout that you can buy.
Quarter inch.
Yeah.
If you cut a half-inch wide fish, you're going to have it at 1/8 on both sides when you're done.
Right
Well, that's pretty cool, Eric. I like that.
Oh yeah,
real nice.
Well, I will tell you.
I didn't talk about it on the show, but I'm going to be. You guys have inspired me, Odysseer and Eric. As soon as I get done with the tuna axe, I'm going to. It's no longer a cleaver; it's an axe. The tuna axe. I'm gonna forge a couple knives before I do anything else. So I want to definitely do that. Make some steel bananas and
straighten them out. Get that banana unbananaed.
I've been watching the Rivers Experience. I know how to make them now.
Hey,
let me tell you, man. The first, I don't know, this knife, this caveman knife, took me a good 3 hours. To make it.
Oh yeah, look good too.
And I slept like a dead man for a couple of days after that, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, but that's something you're going to treasure for a long time. I'm sure your son's going to be
like hammer and anvil until the point that time for me to put an edge on it.
Yeah. Hey, how's your son doing in the military, by the way?
He is enjoying his time there.
That's awesome.
He's having fun. He's toting around his M16.
Oh yeah.
He was qualifying with a pistol this week. I will hear from him on Sunday.
Is he at Fort Benning? Fort Benning?
Yeah,
okay.
And I will get to see him on the 16th. He's coming home for Christmas.
Excellent.
He's going to be spending 2 weeks at home.
Yeah.
And yeah.
You're not going to know him when he comes back home.
I can already tell the difference the way he speaks on the phone. Right. Yeah. There's a different tone to his voice.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Confident.
I mean, hopefully for the better.
I'm sure it will be.
But I mean, I can feel it. You know, he's having fun. He's having the time of his life right now, doing something, getting paid to have fun. Basically, that's what he said. So yeah.
Yeah. So Luke, you're letting your hair grow out. I see.
Today's a bad hair day, gentlemen. Don't judge me on days as bad as today. It's been very wet, rainy, foggy here in Georgia.
Why don't you go with a bald fade? And I'm pretty good with hair. I'm going to probably go get mine done tomorrow. I would go with a bald
fade.
No, the old mullet is getting a little old.
We're bringing it back. Typically, it's not looking like this. It's
yeah.
Mark,
it's just something different, man.
I would go get a bald fade. Seriously.
I'll look into it.
Leave the length on top, bald fade on the side.
Man.
Have them shave it all the way around.
A little mohawk. I think a mohawk would go pretty nice.
Have them do you a hard part. Cut you
maybe a reverse mohawk.
It would make me look a little less.
Reverse mohawk. Just shoot.
So how's dating life going, Luke?
Man, I'm making knives. That's all that matters right now.
Him and his 2x72 are going steady.
I love that 2x7.
Dude, you got your priorities all wrong at your age.
Nah, it'll come.
Like I told my son, make yourself a man of value before you go out and try to snag something.
Well, he's already making
because right now you broke. You ain't got no money. What you chasing for? You're gonna be rejected and stuff. So make yourself a man of value.
Luke, are you broke with no money?
No. I'm smart with money.
I mean, Luke is much older than my son, so I would expect him to be better off.
I was just thinking we could set up a GoFund for Luke.
I mean, I wouldn't. Who's not going to accept more money? Yeah, I'm not going to stop you, but I'm frugal when I need to be.
Nothing wrong with that. I mean, if that's what you're into, grinding some steel, go for it, man. Just
I make knives.
Enjoy single life while you can, because once you get hitched, you are in for a shock of your life.
Best thing
I don't regret getting married, but I told my wife if we ever get split, I'm not getting married again. Forget it.
Well, there's no reason to get married again. You found the most beautiful and perfect woman in the world, as we all did. So
yeah,
it is. Yeah,
my social life consists of working at the brewery, and outside of that, I'm happy.
You're working with a bunch of drunk women hanging out there, and you haven't got a girlfriend. I mean, even that hairstyle's got to look good after a few beers on the
It kind of just fades away, and it just looks nice. Yeah.
No, your hair is fine. You just look like an episode of.
The hard part is that the drunker they get, the uglier they get, and he's not attracted to that.
Oh, that's true.
I'm in the in-between phase, so I just got to get past the weird growth and get long. So
you look like you should be a country singer driving the General Lee. That's all. You're a good looking man. Don't
That's
get me
not
wrong.
I'll be the actor for
I'm
it.
not trying to
Yeah.
insult you, but yeah, you
That's a
General Lee
compliment.
and a
I've been told I
guitar.
look like I should have been a star actor in Step Brothers.
Oh, that'd have been awesome.
Yeah.
So, have you been deer hunting again?
I haven't. Being sick kind of set me back from being in the knife shop. So,
Well, you're just going out to your friend's house. You could just walk outside from playing video games and shoot a deer and go back in and play some more video games.
I could. I'm actually going over there on Sunday. His cables to connect his dock on the lake fell in, and I'm scuba certified. So,
is this on Lake Lanier?
It is. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He needs me to come over with my scuba gear, my thick wetsuit. I'm sure the water is probably 45 or 50 degrees, even though it's been warm lately. Yeah. And pull his cable up. I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I feel like Chip is scuba certified of all the things.
Yeah.
Are you?
Me too.
Well, I need
some dive partners. Come on.
Let me tell you. No, I'm not.
Okay. Really? Wow.
It's a very euphoric feeling.
That's a surprise.
Let's see. All my
those fish are going to get him.
All my certifications. I'm hazmat certified, so if you have an oil spill in your backyard, I can help you with that.
Forklift certified?
I am. CPR, first aid. I'm certified to. I'm certified to fire a trebuchet.
The memes.
No. Have you ever? I was certified to fire a trebuchet about 4 years ago. The Professional Trebuchet Association. You've never heard of that?
I'm still laughing at the forklift certification. I'll be honest
the
you don't know about a forklift certification?
I'm certified myself in forklift driving, but what is the other one you were talking about?
I'm a forklift trainer. I'm a trainer.
Oh,
do you know what the axis of death is on a forklift?
Yes.
There is no such thing.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I knew it.
No, you can't. No. But go ahead.
The trainings that they talk to you about, like the fact that you have to like watch out for people when you're going a mile an hour, and it's like, but don't take a sharp turn around a corner because you might impale somebody.
Yeah.
Austin Powers. Can I tell you something?
Austin Powers on a hockey rink.
Yeah.
Right.
I can tell you something. There was a guy impaled here a couple years ago at one of the plants located here in the area. So honestly, it's a very deadly piece of equipment that if it's used in tight places, it can do a lot of damage. And,
100%. So is a car. Make good
decisions. I tried to burn rubber on those things.
Unfortunately, people don't always make the best decisions. But
it is basically just steel, right?
Yeah.
Just steel and those.
Yeah, but seatbelt or no seatbelt?
I mean,
you have to wear a seatbelt.
Right,
because a lot of the deaths come when people try to get away from the forklift that's tipping over. That seatbelt keeps them in the seat so that they don't get head crushed. Yeah.
Stay in the cage.
I'm going to give you all a test here in a minute if y'all keep talking about forklifts because I've got the test.
It's a meme. That's the reason why.
Yeah,
that's what I drove.
Are you certified? You're certified. You're certified in gas, Eric. You're labeled to fill bottles. What else are your certifications?
Yeah, everything propane, all the different versions of it, not just filling the bottles, but also rigs, everything that has them. But that, and then of course welding. Which
you got a welding classification. Good for you.
Yeah, and then all your normal stuff, auto body, because did all of that for years. Went to school for it, and then forklift and pretty much anything that involves framing and whatnot. I never did my stuff for electrical work. I was thinking about doing the apprentice electrician thing for a while there, but I never fully went through with it. But yeah. And I'm a certified knife maker and YouTuber.
There you go.
Yeah, brother.
Working on you just need 70,000 more, and you're going to get your little plaque.
Yep.
Yeah. So Don, what are your CDL?
Forklift.
That's cool.
Hazmat trained.
Yeah, hazmat.
Just what else? Professional golfer.
I love it.
I want to be.
He's LAID certified.
I'm a professional guitar collector.
bass fisherman.
I bet Mark there has some crazy certifications as well.
Mark's from the military. He's actually got a notebook that's got all of his certifications slid into little plastic sheets for each one. Am I right,
I do have one of those that is now officially on the bookshelf.
That's fine, because anytime I ever interviewed anybody from the military, they showed up with their notebook full of plastic envelopes with all their certifications.
That's right.
That's nice.
That's right. Everybody has one.
Nice. Look at that. In the military, that's important, and they do that. So I'm not knocking it. It's just predictable. You get a military guy and he walks in with a notebook, you're going to spend the afternoon looking at certifications. and it's good you guys are certified. We don't want you doing things one time like knife makers.
Hey, where did you? What base did you go to learn all your stuff? Did you ever go through Shepherd?
I did. So I was through Shepherd multiple times. I went for my initial crew chief, mechanic training, and then I went back up there for my maintenance officer, training. I went through that a few times, and yeah, so a lot of time
Eric,
in Texas.
I think your son is signing that the Pop-Tarts are on fire.
Oh yeah, he's ready for that. It probably is Pop-Tarts
the mechanical side of an airplane or a jet or whatever. Is it much different than a car per se? Because I never been close enough to a plane to, let's say, pop the hood of the thing and see what's in there.
Yeah, so
yeah, 72. Excuse me, I can answer that. 72 Pinto J Assist, JTEC Assist, C-130. This is all the same, and we're gone.
Brought to you by Porkhouse Productions. Oinky oinky oinky.